Yes. Big, one more round of applause for Tafari Love Muzic.
Okay.
All right. And then Ella, where's Ella and Nick? Ella? Yeah, come. So we've got Ella and Nick joining us as well to talk about the Beyond the Next Generation. But yeah, I'm Bobby Brown. I first of all would like to, yeah.
Respect.
All right. Thank you. I don't like the praise, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I would first like to give a big thank you to Brighton CCA and Resolve Collective for having us down, giving us space, making space, letting us make noise in the space, you know what I mean? So yeah. So yeah, today it's a brief history of Black British sound system culture in Brighton and beyond, all right? And if everyone on the panel, on the chairs, would like to introduce themselves as brief as possible.
I'm Sista Dan.
Judah T.
Ella.
MC Trooper. Lyrics computer.
All right.
I'm Nick.
Yes, Nick. Yeah, love it. So how I'm going to do this, I'm going to do a bit of a rewind and a bit of a forward, all right? So how, with the rewind, I just want a bit of a reflection, mainly from KTL, I imagine, but also from Ella, just about ultimately what your first experience with sound system culture was like, you know, some of the tales and the stories. We did an event in May, right? So the New Society, which is like my little collective who do events and cultural sort of movements and happenings, and KTL, which for me was a beautiful moment. I don't know if you'd agree?
Yes.
All right. Cool. So it was during the Great Escape Festival, which I don't know if people are aware of. It's one of the largest emerging talent festivals in Europe, and we were asked to curate an event for Nia Archives, who is an emerging jungle artist in her own right, DJ, producer, vocalist, incredible talent. BBC introducing Artist of the Year, Enemies, breakthrough artist, like really doing her thing, representing the roots and culture correctly, if you know. And it was really nice, I think, to do some sort of intergenerational work and ensure that, you know, the baton is being passed. And, you know, Tony made a point at the end, right? Yeah. You know, we need to tell our story better. We need to archive our history better. Otherwise, it's going to be lost and forgotten. That's it. You know, so here we are today, telling the story, you know, hopefully looking forward as well. And it would be great for the audience to participate as much as possible. Everything is recorded today, both on camera and audibly, so if you don't want to be heard or seen, let yourself be known now. All right, cool. And yeah, we're just going to document it, tell the story, and hopefully inspire future generations to continue with the culture, with the sound, with the movement. Boom. That being said, all right, KTL, Ella, Nick, you know, it's an honor to be here in your presence. You know, big respect for everything you're doing in a difficult time, you know. KTL, first and foremost, what was your first sort of experience with sound system culture? When were you first introduced to it?
We've all got a different story, really.
Yeah, so individually,
Trooper.
I mean, yeah.
Right, let's start a Trooper because you were...
All right. Well,
a long time.
personally, my sound system journey started in the early 70s. I used to go to a club in, what's the name? It's not London, just off Stamford Hill, called Club Norwich. And there used to be a sound there called Sir D's. And this was my first experience, you know. See, I was a naughty boy. I went to a special school. And I didn't hear much music in that school. But, all right, I'm a foster child. I was a foster child. I was fostered by white foster parents, as they done in those days. So I didn't have no black experience until I was a naughty boy and went away. And that's where I first mixed with my own people, with black people. And I suddenly see the swagger, the pride, You know, and whoa, it licked me. So when I come out of the school, and I found this club in North London, and Sir D's, and it just had me. You know, DJ, operator, mic man, and, you know, playing music where I didn't hear on the radios, but it helped me identify. Because up until that point, it was me one against the world. You know? So all of a sudden, I see there was an army of us that all felt the same way, especially Bob as well. Bob's music was coming true. He was telling me to read my Bible. He was telling me that, yes, the system is wrong. It's Babylon. The system is wrong, and they will blame us for everything. So that was my first experience with Sir D's. Then I found my way down a bit further to Tottenham, where Just Shaka was playing. Now, Just Shaka was, the other sound was a ballad sound. But Just Shaka now was a Rasta sound. And we used to go to those sessions with the Bible in my hand. You know, that's how spiritually it was. By the time you come out 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, you feel so mighty and powerful. You could tear down Babylon with your bare hands. But because we're merciful and good people, we don't do it. You understand? Yeah, so those was my first experiences. Soundsystem, you know, it's come a long way, but I'm sure we're going to travel through the journey.
Get into that.
But that was my first experience.
Yes, thank you.
All right. My journey now started in 79, listening to Shaka in Peckham, a place called Settlement. Used to go there on a Sunday. So we all used to get ready, listening to Tony Williams. The whole estate, everywhere, you just hear Tony Williams blaring on a Sunday afternoon. All of us getting ready to go to Shaka. Early sessions, that was it. You know what I mean? That was the beginning of my journey. And then I had my own sound, which is called Black Scorpion in Peckham, right, South London. And that's how my journey began.
When was Black Scorpion founded?
1979.
Yeah, wicked.
Yeah, and before that was Malika Brechin, High Priest. Older man than me still. They're still about and they're still playing. And they're playing a Studiophonic, Black Roots. That's my history.
All right.
Well, part of.
We'll get into the depths of your history, trust me.
I've been just discovered reggae and Soundsystem from Brighton because this is where I've grown up, really. I came from abroad, lived in Brighton from young, and probably in the early 80s started to go out and go to blues dances in Brighton that John Marcus, who was the originator of music down here, reggae music. He used to play at the in-plays like Trooper and Brother Culture and Levi, and all of them used to go from those days there. Brother Culture was about 16 or something, wasn't he? But you used to... Well, you and Levi used to bring him down, and he used to sharpen his skills down here and whatnot. And then, what happened was there was also brethren Victor, who used to...
raise your hand, Victor,
right?
Raise your hand.
Yeah. Right, he used to have, he came along, as a younger, Marcus was an elder sort of thing, and then he started sound. But what happened was they started to play on the same night. So we were running from one club to the other, and we got fed up with that. So one day, I had a plot. So I said to Victor, do you want to come for dinner and come around mine? He's like, okay. And then I said to Marcus, you want to come for dinner around mine? So there was the three of us there that night. And I said, look, we're all fed up with running up and down. The crowd isn't big enough to split. So why don't we all just get together? So they agreed that it was a good idea. And then that night, there was the beginning of King Tafari Love. End of Victor's sound and Marcus, but we all came together making Tafari Love. But so my first reggae dance actually was my mum took me to the Resources Centre way back, right? That's where the Brighthelm Stone is now, or whatever it's called, Brighthelm Centre. So, and then started to go to London and experience all the other sounds. And like Mike used to bring loads of tapes for us all the time of Jah Love and all the proper sounds from Yard and all that. So, you know, it's like it just grew, and yeah, and there we are today. You know,
It's all your fault, basically.
yes, yes, man.
Ella, please. So this was, you know, and I want to give thanks because Resolve introduced us to Ella. I mean, we've only met tonight, right? But Ella's the next generation, you know, and yeah, go on, we're trying. Let's hear you.
So I got into Soundsystem in a kind of like roundabout way. Like obviously growing up in a Caribbean household, there's always like tunes around you, like family parties, there's bear tunes, roots tunes, dancehall, all of that. So always liked music, but then didn't really get into Soundsystem in a more like formalized way until around like 2016, 17. I started like hanging out with Nick, going to some of the Tanum dances. They'd already like built the system and were doing a few dances then. And then about a year or so later, Nick was helping a new crew to start building their system. It was for black and queer people of color. So he was like, oh, Ella, I know I'm an architect. That's what I was doing at uni. And he said, oh, I know you like to make stuff. Do you want to come through and like help these chicks like build their system? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I went, helped them build their boxes. I was really into it. It was really, really good. And then from there, like still in the background, like always going to dances, going to the Tanum dances, all of that. And then I would say like in the past couple of years, I kind of took more like agency in being in Tanum sound system and wanting to like put on more parties and all of that. So yeah. And also like in terms of my family, it was kind of funny because it wasn't really until I got into sound system now that then my uncles were like, oh, we used to have a sound back in the day, like, and I was just like, how did you never come through with this information? Like, why am I learning this now? But I mean, for them, they were just like, it was just what we did for fun. Like, that's what everyone was doing. And I think it's interesting, like, talking about the knowledge exchange. Like, can we just open up those dialogues a bit more that, like, why did it take me till I was 27 years old to find that out? But yeah, it's amazing.
The truth can reveal itself at any moment. So
Yeah.
Nick, hiding away in the corner. Tell us about your introduction to sound system culture, because I'm assuming you didn't grow up in a Caribbean household.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I grew up in the north of England, near York.
Lovely.
Is that still? Yeah. Which is probably one of the whitest cities in Yorkshire, probably. But yeah, a lot of the older kids at school, there's quite a strong connection with Leeds, so a lot of the older kids to Leeds, particularly to the West Indian Centre there, where there were quite a lot of dances there, Irish and Steppers being probably the most famous sound that plays there regularly, and like other sound systems as well. And yeah, a lot of those older kids just got some boxes together, built their own sound. It was called Cranky back then. They would just do like free parties in the woods and stuff, but yeah, I guess I just really sort of connected with that, people connecting through sound and doing things on their own terms.
Perfect.
And creating space to do that.
Yeah. In a positive, peaceful.
Yeah.
Love it.
And it wasn't until later that I sort of learnt the lineage of that. So Caribbean people coming to the UK, settling in Leeds, and blues dances, out of which sounds like Iration grew, and then that sort of reaching rural white people like me eventually.
Yeah. And then you know, it finding you at that touch point, but you then taking it upon yourself to trace it back as well, I think is...
Yeah, definitely.
You know, it's important. It's a credit to you as well, you know. So you again, if we talk about roots and culture, it does stem back deeper. You go back to the Bible, right? How far do you want to go back? But I think it's important that, you know, this lineage is understood and given credit. And I think, you know, you touched on there sort of why you fell in love with the culture, which was my sort of next question, really. And, you know, you said about how it connected people through sound, right? Is there any other reason why you might have fallen in love with the culture? Or?
I mean, I think, that would be the initial thing, but I guess the love I have for it now is maybe different, or is maybe rooted in like a love for the people who kept it going, like people like yourselves, like for decades. So
Yeah.
yeah, once you learn more, you appreciate more about it.
Yeah,
isn't it?
love that. And then, yeah, for anyone else who wants to touch on that point, you know, why did you fall in love with this culture? What was it? No,
Well,
this is it.
for me, it took me off of the streets, right? So I took the path, me and my brethren, and we got together, we built the sound, and it kept us together like a collective, you know what I mean? If it wasn't for that, I'm sure I'd have been one of the bad boy of them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
No,
For real.
absolutely.
So that's what sound done for me. It kept me off of the streets and gave me focus.
I think I love it because the kind of closeness of community. It's not just like going and playing some records. Like around Tafari has been like a community centre, literally. You know, it's like it's so extended. It's not just like a few of us.
I know that. Yeah.
Him, her, him, over
Back
there, over
there,
them
King's
there,
Hi-Fi.
you know. Yeah, you know. And then, yeah, like all the others have come up through at the sound.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a fruitful, fertile ground.
Yeah, for me, it was a sense of belonging, because it was from one man against the world to suddenly realizing, whoa, there's an army of us. There's a whole army. We all think the same. You know, I started off with the bar-led sound, listening to the bar-led sound and appreciating the way a sound system was played and the music and thing. And then progressing to Just Shaka and the Rasta sound and getting the spiritual element of it. Yeah, so that was it really. It was a sense of belonging and realizing, boy, we're a family. We're an army, a unit. Yeah. Praise God, you know.
Love that.
Yeah, man.
Love that. Ella, please.
Yeah, I would agree with the sense of belonging and like just going in a space where you're gonna guaranteed to be seeing all your people. But then also I really like it just like as a space of like transformation. Like you're completely transforming the space where you're in, like through the sound, through the boxes, just everything about it. You're creating this new territory in a way which was unexpected. So, yeah.
And the next thing about the sound system music is that it's always been like a news channel for I and I. Because our news don't come on the news. Our things don't come, we don't hear about it. The way we used to hear about it was through the music. We wouldn't know about 54 Storm unless it was for the music. We wouldn't know about the Green Bay killing unless it was for the music. So it's always been a way of communication. Really, to know what's going on out of our spectacles. Yeah.
Absolutely. There's a couple points there. I think Sista Dan talking about, you know, getting people off the street and your daughter here, all right? Let me grab a mic for Hannah, please, I beg, all right? Because we're gonna have this conversation, all right? We're gonna have this conversation. I told her she's gonna be touching microphone tonight. She thought it was going to be bars, but no, I said, no, don't worry, I won't do you like that. But Hannah, just for further context and lineage, you know, like us, you're my youth worker, right? So Hannah is my youth worker. Hannah saw me in my worst my worst times, yeah? Hannah saw me, but created space single-handedly for probably 50 to 100 to 200 youths that congregated in a space. Jacob's here. Yeah? Exactly. Audioactive, Hove YMCA. Like, this, we are children of this sound and this culture.
Yeah.
When did you fall in love? What's the impact it's had on you? Because through you is my connection to the sound.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, for me, growing up within the sound system, I didn't particularly love reggae music because it was constantly being played. Like, I'm talking that kind of bass in the morning, in the evening, at night.
In the speaker.
Oh, yeah, that's me in that speaker there. So I didn't take it seriously as like a music thing. It was more like a playground for me. Just everybody that was involved had children, so I got to link up with the cousins, which is Teo, Hizzle, etc. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So through that, I created my own family.
Yep.
And then we got to branch off from the reggae thing. And then obviously our thing was kind of grime, and then it went over to dubstep, which is very much sound system based.
Exactly.
So that's where we bridged the gap with that. But then in my later years, I started to appreciate the reggae more, the sounds, the community, and everything like that. So yeah, I think as time went on, I started to appreciate it a lot more. Definitely.
Yeah, you see, there's a lot of values and morals that sort of, you know, pin the culture together.
And the
as well,
message
right?
is
and the message.
extremely important.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So just to, I guess, Judith T made a point about the origins.
Judith T.
Sorry, what am I talking about? Sorry. Trooper. Sorry, Trooper. That's my bad. You know, give us your perspective on the origins of this movement culturally. You said it's a bar-led sound. What does that mean?
It's a bar-led sound.
When I say bar-led, I don't mean disrespectfully anyway.
I know that.
Yeah,
but
I just mean, you know, co-med, regular John Public, you know, who control sound system. I mean, come on, jammies, you know,
So
Black
is that
Scorpio.
like, are we talking about ska and punk?
Yeah, because that's where it first came.
Yeah.
It first came, it come from Mentor through to ska, the blue beat thing, and then it came to reggae. You know, everything has progressed. You know, then you had the dancehall thing, the digital thing. Because I see when the music's changed tonight, Sista Dan was playing reggae, and suddenly a digital thing dropped. And it's a complete, and to tell the truth, I was slow when it come to digital.
Yeah.
Everyone was raving about this slang thing. Slang thing, the slang. And you see, when I first heard the slang thing, I thought, rah, what is that? And then it's only years later I say, yeah, you know what? There's a powers.
Yeah.
You know, maybe not that particular music, but other music, and then I come back to that music again.
So
But-
just to elaborate on the slang thing for people who may not be familiar.
Well, the slang thing was the first digital reggae dancehall music. It was made on a Casio keyboard. So it had a completely different sound than human beings playing bass and drums. You know, so I couldn't adapt to it that easily. You know, and still, roots and culture is my comfort zone. You know, dub, roots and culture. I don't know if it's because I'm an MC or what, but that's my comfort zone. But yeah, so when I say bar-led, I'll get back to your question. When I say bar-led, it's just people who are not Rasta, basically.
Yeah.
And then the Rasta sound is going to drop different because we come with a message. You know, I mean, all sounds, what a bar-led or what, can have messages.
Yeah, and they're all for everyone, ultimately.
Yeah, for everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's just the difference. When I say bar-led, it sounds kind of disrespectful, but I don't mean it disrespectfully, you know?
I know that.
Not at all.
Yeah. Is there anyone else got any perspectives on the origins or where they believe the origins to be? Or even, you know, we will get onto this further, but Hannah touched on dubstep and grime, you know, even we could talk about jungle. Any feelings or thoughts around, you know, the subgenres or the influences that inspired or were inspired? So here we go. So let's pass the mic. Because I want this to be, by the way, I want this to be inclusive. So if anyone else has got points or perspectives, please share.
Yeah, we used to have
Please.
Garrison, Reggae Dan. He's quite a big jungle MC, I believe, isn't he? Yeah, Garrison, he started. We had, who was the other one who was the R&B one? I don't know, we enough people have passed through the sound and gone on to do different music.
Yeah.
But the same sort of sound system vibe about their music. So you had dubstep, jungle, garage, you know, it's where you had MCs on the sound system. Little Judo. Yeah, he was more R&B, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And good times, man. And I was thinking about Slang Tang. We were in that blues by Preston Park, and they played Slang Tang, and we looked at each other and said, that's the end of reggae music as we know it.
But with reggae, you have different genres. So you've got dancehall, you've got roots, you've got lovers rock. You know what I mean? So you've got digital. So it all slots into its little spot in the end. You know, but it might be all popular and seem like it's taking over, but then it all settles down and it moves along. It's very
fluid,
organic.
Yeah, nice.
Well, that's what culture is.
No, go on, sorry.
That's what culture
Saying it's many, many branches of the same tree, basically. You know?
In my father's house, there are many mansions.
For real.
There we go. Love that. Ella or Nick, you got anything to add there? No? I guess as the new generation, what is your sort of earliest memories, or where did obviously you said you discovered it 2016, 17, right, Ella? So
that's when I started actually going to system dances rather than just listening to music.
Yeah.
Generally.
So what is your perspective as sort of the new generation, the next generation of the sound? Like, I guess you're very early in your journey, right?
Yeah.
So perhaps maybe it's best to talk about your ambitions within the culture and with the sound, right, rather than the history. So maybe we get back to that. We'll go when we're talking about the forward of the future and the culture. We'll speak on that. But I guess what are some of your fondest memories? Tell us, because you started touching on the blues and.
It's just got to be when the dance is ram and everyone's having a good time. What else can you ask for? That's what you go there for. And then a lot of people come after and say, "Oh, thanks, it was great. I had a great time." And that's all. That's the main thing, that we love doing it. We love doing it.
Another thing that was great was the blues dances.
Okay.
Please
elaborate.
True, it was hard for us to get venues and that. People didn't want us carrying these big, because these are neat. These boxes are neat. Back in the day, we used to have boxes. We used to call them Caesar, Goliath, Hernia. Yeah, it took 4 men to carry one box. Some people used to build a box and couldn't move it out of their yard. It was too big. Yeah, we used to think it was all about size.
Mark.
Yeah, so size matters. Yeah, so it was the excitement of sound system, really. Everything.
No, I was going to say the blues dances stopped when raves came along, because they started to do house parties, sort of copying what we were doing. But we always try and do it respectfully. I know it was noisy, but then there was over the top amount of them, and then the police started to raid, and then we started to get raided, which for years we never ever got stopped. We were allowed to do our dances, but then it all just went down the pan because of that.
Okay. Blues dance was, in case you don't know, blues dance used to keep in people's houses. Yeah, so we used to say rub off the wallpaper. See, you used to move all the furniture out. You used to make a bar in the kitchen, sell drink. You used to cook chicken and rice and peas, curry goat, ital, all the nice West Indian food. And that was it. People used to pay £1 for coming. And that was a blues dance. And it used to run sometimes till EastEnders the next day, till Sunday. 1 o'clock Sunday, the blues dance. Sometimes you have 3, 4 blues dances on one estate. Different sounds. Yeah, so that was blues dance. And it used to be an income for people as well, because some people who was feeling the pinch used to let you use their yard. And you used to give them money. So it was a way of, we all used to work together.
Brilliant.
Yeah, blues dance. It was big, man. It was nice. And the dances were wicked.
Love that.
We supported a lot of top acts. They used to come to say, I don't know what it's called now. It used to be the Top Rank Suite. Then it was something else, I can't remember. So that was good. Also, we did quite a few anti-apartheid supporting gigs and that. Freddie McGregor came and
wicked.
helped us with that, one of them anyway. There's been some great moments, truly.
Can I just add one as one of the kids?
Please, please.
So when I was growing up, the crossfader wasn't part of the mixer. It was just a box. So I got to just... and that was literally one of my fondest memories from the sound. Literally,
Yeah.
I wish I could do that right
Where
now.
you learnt to mix. You still can, you know. I don't know, we're saying up here.
No, but in the box form,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
just something about it.
We're going to get one of them back,
Yeah,
don't
please.
worry.
That's something to add.
We've played at the university as well quite a good
Yes.
few times.
So Brighton University.
Yes, at the
obviously, which
Mandela
is-
Hall and the Hot House and the Refectory. So we've played quite a few times up there, but not for years actually. But we wouldn't mind getting back up there.
Yeah.
Felix.
Yes, Felix. Make it happen.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, so they were good. That's good.
So I guess there was a point where you touched on things going downhill. Am I right in saying that? At one point you said things went downhill after, I don't know if it was
After the raves.
The
kind of
raves,
came.
right,
Well,
so-
yeah.
So I guess, like, at what point was that, and, you know, how do you feel the sort of current state of sound system culture is today in 2022?
Sad state of affairs.
Sad, all right, okay. Please elaborate, you know.
All right, so in London at the time, and anywhere in England, yeah? So you had the churches were involved. They'd let us come in, bring our sounds in, take it to blues, it's nightclubs, but as I was saying, churches, any hall, we were allowed to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then town halls, like Brixton Town Hall, all over. We used to play all over. And then all of a sudden, it just got less and less and less and less. And it's part of our culture, sound system. So we're losing out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no, everybody, all the other genres of music have got somewhere to play and vent their stuff. We've got nowhere. Yeah, so that's what we're working towards. That's what we want. We want somewhere to play our sounds. You know what I mean? Not
It's
just
like-
this sound.
No restrictions.
It's like they're shutting us down, really. You know, we don't get no radio time. That's why we have to have pirate radio station. Yeah. You know, we can't get venues, so we have to send front people in there to go front it up.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then we turn up.
Yeah.
And people surprised.
Yeah.
You know, one time it was so bad that we was forced into like wine bars, playing on silly little
Wow, that is bad.
silly little discotheques, right?
Yeah.
You see, roots or reggae music is a music, you don't just hear it, you feel it.
Yes.
That means you need that bass line, you need that mid, you need that tops. That's why you have state-of-the-art equipment like the preamp,
Yep.
you know, that is finely tuned to play reggae music. You can probably play all drill and all them things too, because they got some wicked bass lines in the drill. So
Yeah,
you could
right.
probably deal with the drill as well. But it's finely tuned for those frequencies. You know, when we first started, we didn't have preamp. We had to use different systems, like you'd have one amp for your bass, one amp separately for your treble, etc., etc. We used to have to put resistors in the top boxes to cut out the bass, so that you'd only get treble coming through the top boxes, because we didn't have crossovers and all them kind of thing there.
No plugs. Yeah, everybody's got plug where they plug in the back of the boxes. We just twist wire, tape it up, that was it.
Red pon red, black pon black. That's what it used to be the rule. Red pon red, black pon black.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love
man.
it.
Sound system's come a long, long way, Jano.
Yes.
And, you know, I want to big up the younger generation as well. Because one time, us as elders were standing around and saying, what's the future of sound system? They're shutting us down. They won't give us no venues. You know, and or I talk for my youth them, and a lot of my brethren's youths that in London and that, they're not interested in roots music. They want drill, they want grime, they want, you know, other forms of music. Not a problem, you know. So we want, and then all of a sudden we see this generation rise up, building sound systems, you know, making bands, becoming artists, singing, you know, MCing. So I'll just big up that next generation know, you know, we
right.
come through and keeping sound
ho-
system culture alive.
Hopefully,
Yes.
doors
John
will start to open, especially as like more like English people get in. They say, "Well, this is our country. We're born here. Open the door. We
Yeah,
want to come
yeah,
in." You know.
yeah.
You know, they stayed shut. They kind of creaked open a little bit for us, but kept getting shot in our faces. But yeah, now the youngers aren't up for that. You know?
Well, a couple are. Ella, Nick, have you got anything to add to that? Sort of current state, you know, maybe with a bit more
Them
youthful
doors open.
optimism.
Yeah, I mean, It's working. Yeah, I feel like this is a question which like keeps me up at night. I can't lie.
Love that.
But,
Come on then.
yeah, I feel like what a lot of the conversation is like touched on things like the town hall, the church, all of these things. It's like part of public infrastructure. And when I was chatting to my uncles when they were saying that they used to run their sound, they were saying how they used to just, they're from the Midlands. And they were like, yeah, we used to just like go down to the leisure centre and just put on dancers there, pound on the door. Yeah. And also this was even when they were under 18. So again, it's like actual youths just being able to like create a space for themselves to just have a little dance and like be free. And I feel like now the lack of space is so much of a structural issue and like part of a larger like tyranny of like real estate, neoliberal disorder.
Listen, talk it.
Stress, and it's like a general like attrition on spaces of like public revelry, spaces for like nightlife and club culture, like more broadly, and also just any kind of like recreational infrastructure for like young people, but also like people of all ages. It's like, why is there, like, if you can't even go to a ticketed venue, let alone like a free dance, then how are you supposed to have the resources, access, time to like build boxes, create your own dance, go somewhere that's not licensed? So I think that we are like in an extremely hostile environment right now.
Yeah.
So there's like very, very few places where you can put dances on. So like now when you do find those spaces, you really like cling on to them. And then also, but then on the flip side, like I feel like more avenues open up in terms of like brand partnerships and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard because it's like in one way, yeah, everyone should get paid, especially if you're running system. Like it's not like, I was at a sound system reasoning at Goldsmiths a couple of weeks ago.
All right.
And that was really, really good. There were some really amazing conversations there. But then someone made the point saying that like you don't do sound system for the finance. Like you don't do it to get paid, you just do it because you love it. Yeah, exactly. So then it's like, you're doing it for the culture, and then if there are opportunities to get paid through different brand partnerships, like good, I think everyone should get paid. Then there's also a limit where you want to safeguard the culture, so that it shouldn't be that you can only facilitate these kind of dances with loud bass and all of that through a brand deal. Like you should be able to also have those dances for free.
Yeah. Because in one way, that's sort of seeking permission. Right?
Exactly. So it's like a constant like negotiation to be able to run sound system now, I feel like. But we're trying.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Go on, Gil. There's only really one place in Brighton that was letting us bring the set. Well, you can go to the Concord, but it's big money. But it's the Brighton Electric Studios, rehearsal studios, were letting us play sound there, and they started to get complaints.
Yeah.
So now it's all on the balance with that. But, you know, like, if we can't bring our set, we are a sound system, but if we can't bring the set, we've still come with music because that message must go through, you know?
100%.
Just to show you how, like the sisters say, it's a hostile environment for sound system. I used to have a regular thing at the Hootenanny in Brixton. Yeah. Now, the building was wanted by Sainsbury's, Tesco Express. All of them want the building, you know. Yeah, just like they turn most of the music venues, if you look at the music house up Brixton Hill, Tesco's Express. You know, they want these venues, right? So what they done now is they paid the neighbours to complain. Okay? So when the neighbours complain, the council come in, put up their noise boxes, yeah, police get involved, So in the end now, they said, and then the next thing they said is, we can't have anyone in after 11 p.m. That's when people are coming out. You understand? In London, that's when people come out, not when they go in. So they say we had to turn it into a private club and make people have membership so that they could come in. You know, but it's a constant battle. But then in the end, you had the carpet place over the road, and Sainsbury's took over that. So then leave we alone. But I'm just showing you how the environment is hostile to sound system, for real.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, you know, we're going to play a little bit of a game now with everyone, but beyond that, we'll look at the future and, you know, maybe some where our energy is best spent and, you know, what collective efforts there should or could be, right? But I just want to do a bit of a word association. All right, so I'm going to throw some words out, and I just want people to bounce back, be disruptive, be noisy, all positive. You know, it's not a Discord or a Reddit forum. Yeah, let's all keep it nice and friendly in here. But let me just throw some words out, panel included. Just respond, bounce words back. I'm going to start with rebellion. So word association. What does that? What other word does that inspire?
Against the system.
System. All right, cool. Rebellion.
Revolution.
Revolution.
Culture.
Oh, culture. Extinction. Okay. Anyone else? Audience members? Huh? The way forward. Okay, cool. Huh? Rebel. Rebellion. All right. Chris, what was that? Did you say something? Oh, sorry. The right thing. Equality. One love. All right. Unity. Freedom. Forwards. Black people. All right then. More people, unity, all together, one love. Love that. Power. Strength. Resilience. Oppression. Against oppression. Thank you. Resistance. Nice.
Liberation.
Liberation. All right. Liberation. All right. So what if I said righteous? What does that inspire?
Spiritual.
Spiritual. Belief. Genuine. Love.
The right thing.
The right thing. Goodness. Positivity. Truth.
Yes. Truth and rights.
Truth and rights. Justice. Cool. If I say meditation. Respect. Chalice, he says. Chalice, meditation. All right, respect. Elevation.
Yes.
Iration. Peace.
Inner peace.
Inner peace. Love. Escape.
Yeah, oneness.
Oneness. All right, cool. Yeah. Should we take a 5-minute break? Toilets, waters, whatever. We'll come back and we'll look at the forward, the future of sound system culture, yeah? Cool, thank you guys. All right then, part two commencing. Anyone would like to take their seats or their positions if you're not sat.
Where's Joy?
A few more seats there.
Where's Joy?
Joy boy.
Yeah, Joy. Where's Joy? Yeah. Come, Joy, do you want to pull that seat round? Pull that seat round, brother. Yeah, come. Please.
And then you can share my mic.
Oh, is that all right? Is everyone somewhat situated and comfortable? Drink in hand? Yeah? Cool. Excellent. So, we've done a bit of a rewind, on the history, the heritage, the lineage of the culture, sound system culture. I'd like to look forward now, as positively as we can. And the first sort of point or question I'll ask is, what are some of the practices and values from the culture that you want to ensure are carried forward?
The message,
The message. So elaborate on the message, please. What is the message?
The message is of positivity, love, unity. The message is not just one thing, it's many. We warn people, we try and unite people, we try and uplift people. You know, it's like a many-faceted message.
Yeah.
That's my...
Love that.
Anyone?
Yeah, it's to make people know, really, and give you another view, an alternative, because a lot of people are just sheeple, and they just follow, like the mass, or what the government say, or do this, do that, and they run, go do it, and do. But what we're doing is we're questioning things and saying, well, hold on. What you're telling us isn't really how it is. What you're telling us isn't really beneficial to us. It might be beneficial to you. You know, so the message is question things. You know, like I said before, all of us are one. Don't let them divide us, because divide and rule is how they manage to get away with what they're getting away with. Yeah, when I say they, I mean the establishment, the government, the people who run things and that, you know. So we have to question them, and we have to be ready to if we're not united, we can't do nothing. We're too busy fighting against each other, whether you're wearing a mask or you're not. You know, whether, you know, some foolishness compared to the big picture. We have to look at the big picture. All of us are one. We're not going to agree on everything, you know, but we probably agree on more things than what we disagree on. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's all about love and unity and exposing what's really going on in these last years, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is Ella's mic on? Is that on?
Yeah, I 100% agree with Trooper that it is about a space of questioning and also a space to like imagine like new possibilities and new potentials. I think it's important again that like the dance is like a party, but then it's also important, I think, to understand that the party is like actually a political space where you can imagine new things, like create new solidarities and create new like ideas and concepts. So I feel like actually remembering like the importance of party going as like an infrastructure for like social movements, I think is like really, really important. And also, I feel like Soundsystem as a practice is a really good platform for like skill sharing as well as like social solidarity. So insofar as like there's all these different, let's say like avenues and specialisms like within the system, and that's like audio engineering, like mastering, all of that. There's like being a selector, so having those like curation skills, also being the person who's like doing all of the actual like mastering and all of that, and then being the MC, like being the person who's making the tunes. Then there's like carpentry, electrician, like there's all these different things that you like, someone's the driver who's going to drive the van. There's going to be the people who are just carrying boxes.
All these forget the boxman them, yes?
So it's like there's hella different roles for everyone to engage with, and I think there's like something for everyone. And this is like just the operators, not even the people who are just in the party. So it's like there's literally, it's like a whole community, it's like a whole like society that you can
economy,
be involved in.
ecosystem.
Exactly. So I think it's like an amazing site for like transformation and evolution, in my opinion.
So just to introduce Joy, who has joined us for the second part of the panel. Joy is the next generation, youngest in charge, you know, co-signed by KTL.
Yeah, Joy
doing his thing with King's Hi-Fi.
He used to carry our boxes before he was even allowed to come. to take the boxes. And
Joy won't talk up his thing too much, but Joy, please just give us a brief introduction to yourself.
Yes, everyone. I'm Joy. I run King's Hi-Fi, another sound system here in Brighton. I grew up in a school of King Tafari. I must have been about 16 years old in the greenhouse effect. There's some flyers on the wall here, carrying the scoops down these windy metal stairs, me and T, honestly. But anyway, it was a good education, and I've since then I've gone to uni, studied audio production, and I've just opened a studio. I'm going to be mastering and cutting dub plates here in Brighton.
Yes, yes.
Which is, yeah, thank you. Rewind Studios is our name, Rewind Mastering. We're going to be launching some point early next year, basically. But
you just received funding for that, right? Is that
yeah,
correct?
so that was through the Arts Council. We received funding to get the machine and get some training as well alongside the machine and all of that. So that's we're moving forward and just pushing the culture, really.
Love that.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Nick, do you have anything you wanted to add to that point, or?
I don't know. I think for me, there's something really important and powerful about people being present in the moment now, and that sound system facilitates that. It encourages people to get off their phones and focus, meditate, listen to the same thing together, and that's harder and harder to do, and it's the ideal space for that, really.
Love that. Brilliant. So just again, to look forward, are there any individuals or collectives? Obviously, we've got Tatum, is that how you say it, sorry?
Tanum.
Tanum Sound System, we've got KTL, we've got King's Hi-Fi here now. Are there any other individuals or collectives from the new generation that you would champion or say that we should keep an eye on? Dende Sound, yes! We've got a roaming mic, say it, Dende Sound, introduce yourself, I beg.
Yo.
Oh, bless him.
On the spot.
I'm just sitting here just grinning my head off and just saying yes to everything that everyone said. I'm but overwhelmed. But yeah, I'm blessed. And also, it's interesting, I've just, so I run a sound system in Brighton, Dende Sound with Raf, and also in the Gambia. And I've shipped some sound system gear there, and we're developing a thing there. And also just had a bit of Arts Council funding, which to support that. And part of it has been writing about sound system as a tool for community development. Because when we put on events in Gambia, suddenly there's business for the taxi drivers, there's business for the women selling food, there's business for the bars, and it's actually the only event in the harbour where I live that actually brings money to the people other than the tourism. So I'm just super inspired by what's going on here. Respect.
Thank you. Respect. Enough respect.
Nice one.
So yeah, just to come back to that point then, are there any individuals or collectives from the new generation that you would champion or think we should keep an eye on? Obviously, we spoke about Near Archives from a jungle perspective that we did some work with over the summer.
Yeah. Probably up and coming is like Son of Abashanti, Ben Sealer. He's good. You've got like Chukka's son, he's got a sound, Young Warrior. But
here in Brighton, I would definitely big up Heavy Tone.
Heavy Tone,
yeah. Young sound system, but so enthusiastic and loving the music, feeling the music. So I definitely big up Heavy Tone Hi-Fi every time.
Yeah, Joy, have you got anything to add to that?
I mean, in Brighton, there's a few of us. I mean, most of us are in this room, and then Heavy Tone are not present. But that's kind of our scene at the moment. It's kind of small, and I mean, it got touched on before. We've now lost our venues as well. Well, our main venue that we used. So there was a point that it was growing. About from the last sort of 5 years, it grew. We got new sound systems. Everyone growing their sound systems, venue to play in, and then in the last few months, it's all just sort of tailed off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're going to see what the new year brings, I think, and I think we're going to find our space and get going again with it.
We've got like friends who've got sounds along the coast, like in Hastings, there's Humble Rumble, who we're doing a dance with on the 26th of November. Our friend Ray's just started a sound in Eastbourne, of all places, called Stone Rock. Yeah, so...
Eastbourne.
Yes, you know. Yeah. It's all happening, mate.
Ella, Nick, is there any of your age mates or peers, like Nick being from York and you're talking about Leeds and, Ella being from Croydon, like, are you seeing any sort of movements around there?
I would give a shout out to Boss, I guess.
To who, sorry?
Boss, Black Obsidian Sound.
Okay.
And then also... me and Nick helped a system in Coventry called Sisters in Dub, so they're like doing some stuff in Coventry, which is really good. They've got loads of enthusiasm, they're doing well. Sound system in London, I don't know, apart from like Boss, obviously Tanum.
Yes, obviously.
But there's also a lot of like parties and like collectives who just put on really nice parties who I would get behind. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily about them running a system, but more about them creating a space for people to create
Yeah.
a society through party going. So like Cousins is a nice one, or like local Brixton do a nice little dance every now and again.
Wicked.
So yeah, I would shout them.
Love that.
Yeah, the thing with sound system culture, I mean, it's not just England now. It's a worldwide movement. In Europe, so many sound systems are building, and I mean some killing machines. Some big sound systems are building in Europe.
Yeah.
You know, all the festivals and everything that are taking place in Europe. You know, you have Dub Camp in France that is just centralized around sound. It's just bare sound systems there. You know, you have Rotterdam in Italy now, Spain now. Nearly every artist from Jamaica appears there. It's a 10-day or a 7-day event. Every artist, every sound system appears there. So sometimes you have to travel now. England is definitely not the best place for the music. We're pushing, but we're getting a fight. Hostility, you know what I mean? It's not easy. But Europe, Africa, Asia even, you know, they have a reggae sunsplash in Germany, they have a reggae sunsplash in India.
Wow, yeah.
It's a worldwide thing. Everywhere, man. And not only,
love
I'll say not only sound systems, but they're building bands, they're becoming artists, they're becoming MCs. You know, so the culture is alive and kicking. Sometimes when you're down here in this bubble, you feel like, whoa, time tough. But look at the big picture. Worldwide.
Love that.
You know, and it's alive and kicking.
Go on, Nick, from your perspective.
I just wanted to mention a young sound from Brixton called Earthquake Sound System. They've put on a few dances called Give the Youth a Chance, and they invite younger sounds to all come and do their thing, and I think that's really important, and it's really amazing that they're doing that.
Yeah. Love that, wicked. So then, in an ideal world, what would the future of sound system culture look like? Anybody?
More venues. Yeah. More venues. Yeah. Actually, you know something? We used to take our sound to many a nightclub, like in the 80s and 90s, and their club system wasn't very good. So after, in about the 90s, all the clubs started to revamp there. So every time now you say, oh, can we bring our sound there? Oh, we got a really good in-house system if you want it. You know, it's like... yeah, it's not a sound. So.
Let's pass the mic, because let's pass the mic.
Daddy Dave.
Daddy Dave, here we go, Daddy Dave.
Yeah, we remember the dance at the Royal Albion, and all we did was switch on the sound, and the manager came running down, turn it down.
Brilliant. Oh, Ella, Nick, have you got anything, ideal world? I feel, Ella, I'm really keen to hear this from you.
Yeah, I would say, like, in addition to the venues themselves, there's all, like, the ancillary support spaces which you need to keep your system going and maintain it. So, like, a space to even build the system in the first place. Like, where's the open access workshops? Where can you buy cheap wood? How can you even, like, train up young people to be interested in carpentry and, like, actually implement it in this way that can be for recreation? Obviously, storage, as you said, is like a massive one. Because it's like you could build a whole disgustingly hench system, and where's it going? Like, when you're not in the dance, where's it going to go? So that's obviously like a very difficult one.
We've kind of sort of improved our storage slightly, because we normally, if we had scoops, we'd have twice as much equipment, but we've got double 18s in each box, which cuts down. So instead of 2 boxes, you've got 1. So that helps a bit.
So then, next question: what, like, KTL, King's Hi-Fi, Tanum Sound, like, what are your plans for the future with the sound? what things have you got upcoming? I know KTL, you got an event tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow with Earl 16, then the 26th of November in Hastings. Yeah, and then we just got a few dates booked for next year, but every time we go and play, usually it leads on to something else. So, yeah, there'll be more of that.
Where's the best place to follow KTL?
Oh, just Facebook at the
Facebook,
minute.
yeah. Cool.
Yeah, we also have a dance tomorrow night.
Wait, look at it. Competition. Wait, Sista Dan, you need to organise another dinner.
Who's coming to mine?
Yeah, so we have a dance tomorrow at Catford Sport and Cricket Club. So it's kind of like similar to what you were saying about when you're saying that Hootenanny for a bit, you had to turn it into a private members club in order to do your dances. So ours is like in a private members club because that's the only way which we can like easily put on a regular dance that's like free on the door, no security, nothing. It's just easy. So we're doing that. That's like a really nice session which we've established. And do you have anything after that?
No.
Not right now, but
Cool.
I feel like in the future, like
Well,
You, Dandy?
yeah.
3rd of December at the Comedia. Okay.
I got nothing.
Well, you say you've got nothing, but
I've been doing the studio stuff more. I've been working on the studio stuff, and next year I'm sure there'll be plenty of days. We play as.
And you're with us. You're
Oh
playing
yeah, and I'm playing tomorrow. yeah, tomorrow.
But also, you know, like you talk about the ancillary and the external stuff that supports the sound. That's what you're working on, as well as providing the sound. You know,
we're creating the music in the studio. We're cutting the records in the studio. We're doing, you know, all the bits around it. Exactly. We don't stop. We're not.
Talk up your ting, no man.
You know that.
Cool. So then, if you could so we're going to open it up for a Q&A shortly, but if you could individually leave us with one song or album to listen to this weekend, what would it be? And we can open up the floor. I'll take notes. I might create a playlist and share it, yeah? Right, well, give us a set. Give us a set, Mark. Let's go here, and then we'll open it up to the room. I will take notes as quickly as possible. One song or album that we should listen to this weekend, people, please.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Yami Bolo, Free Mandela. It's a tune I've been listening to a lot recently. It's an old, I think it's a 90s sort of digi roots tune, and it sounds good on the system. I promise you that.
Love that.
But yeah, that's mine for today.
Free Mandela, Yami Bolo. Cool. I've got that noted. That'll be in the playlist if I can find it.
I'm saying Dub Judah album.
The Dub Judah.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. It's lovely artwork
Make
there.
a joyful noise.
Love that. Dub Judah, Make a Joyful Noise.
He's an amazing talent. He plays like many instruments. Probably played every single instrument.
Wicked.
And produced it and everything.
Love that.
Yes.
Dixie Peach. Sound Politics.
Oh,
Right then. Sound Politics. Ella, please.
Sticky and Tubby T, Tales from the Hood. It's a nice little garage, dancehall link up, and it just epitomizes like Black British culture.
Love that. Love that.
I would say anything by Samurai.
Yes.
Yeah, Jamaican artist still. There's not a lot of great music coming out of Jamaica right now. It's mostly dancehall music, a lot of murder music, etc. But Samurai, yeah, definitely. If not Samurai, Micah Shemaiah. Those are my two artists, Micah Shemaiah and Samurai.
Okay.
Wicked, wicked.
I feel that like the Jamaican dancehall more caters for the American audience because it's a massive audience.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's sort of
It
different to
comes
what
back
we're
to,
into.
yeah, I guess it comes back to your point of what are they doing it for? Money or culture, connection, community, love, unity. All right? Cool. Nick?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Pressure Dub by Ability 2. That's a Leeds like bleep tune. But it kind of sums up, I guess it's like a second generation Black British person building something new out of, it kind of has the future and the past in
Love
it
that.
to me.
Love
it's
that.
heavy, it's really dubby.
Pressure
It's a wicked
dub,
tune.
Affinity,
Ability 2.
Ability 2.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Love that. Cool. Anyone from the audience got any recommendations? Yes, hands. All right, hands in the air. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Here we are then, people. Collaborative playlist incoming.
So mine is a tune by my actual dad.
Yes. Yes, Dad.
Who is called Ruben de Silva. This is him singing here on a sound.
Yes.
He's got loads of music, but maybe check out Sensi Skank, because that's more of a recent one, which is a bit of a bubbler. And It's Time. There's a few. Just listen to him. Ruben de Silva.
Wicked. Mark, please.
Bob Andy.
Oh, yeah.
Bob Andy. Life.
Yes.
All right.
Wait.
Johnny Osborne, Truth and Right, Studio One.
Right.
Give me a second. I can't type quick enough here. Johnny Osborne.
Truth and Rights album. Studio One.
Bob Marley? No, not Bob Marley.
Hey?
Dennis Brown.
Hey.
Push Comes to Shove.
No, that's Freddie McGregor.
Freddie?
That's Freddie.
Ray and Nephew talking, that is. Ray and Nephew.
Freddie McGregor.
I went to and they're from Brighton. There's a young guy, Nelson Navarro.
Oh, yeah, we know Nelson. Love that. Wicked.
Just got 3 albums out this year. Really beautiful voice.
Love that.
An angel.
Love that. Brilliant.
And you and I went to a club last week, and the average age was 12.
Oh, wow.
I think the audience probably felt a bit old. But there were two, it was really cool. There were young rappers, they were called Fusion, who's got a track called Like That, and that's really good. And PK, it's quite grimy, which is probably why we stood out amongst the 12-year-old boys that were quite adoringly looking at the DJs.
Love that. Brilliant. Any other contributions to our playlist?
I'm really enjoying the productions of Michael Exodus at the moment. Quite sort of heavy dubby tunes. Let Jah Arise. Nice little tune I was just checking out today.
Brilliant.
Dandy also produced tunes.
Yeah. Come on, plug your thing as well.
Me? Yeah, you, Dandy, you got tunes.
Oh yeah, so we've got a record label. Funnily enough, called Dende Sound Records. Lately, we released a tune with a Gambian singer called Sar Karim, who's done loads and loads of wicked stuff.
And MC Trooper.
And before that, we released a tune with MC Trooper. Yeah. So both great tunes. Check them out. And I've got a band in Gambia as well called Mamboy and the Njahas Band, but it ain't reggae. It's a whole other thing.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Cool. And then, so unless there's any more song recommendations, do we have any questions? Sorry, Jacob.
Oh, Demus, what song have you got?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything by Rasta Michael and the Sons of Negus. Anything by them.
Rasta Michael and the Sons of Negus. Yeah, very spiritual. Yummy Polo. Yes.
Sons of
Negus, yes.
Love it. Any questions, anybody? Here we go.
A good question.
Love it.
You know, like how you had dinner and you got your mates together and you made a sound system happen. How about everybody in the room gets together and you make a cultural centre happen?
Oh, wow.
Make a what?
You make a cultural centre happen.
Cultural centre.
Yeah.
Where everyone come together. Yeah. Listen, you've probably got another half an hour before you got to get kicked out. So if you can pull it together in the next half an hour, let's do it. Cultural centre here at the CCA. Exchange numbers, Instagrams, Twitters, all of that good stuff, and let's make it happen.
Do you know what? We did the family day for the multicultural Black History thing last Sunday at the Unitarian, and there's a lady called Kamala. I don't know if anyone knows her, but she was saying the same thing to me, and I was saying, yeah, we really need somewhere we can do like stuff together and that. And I said, I'm going to talk to my friend about it, right, and see if he can get involved. And she went, yeah, those guys from Barco are really good as well. I was
there we
like,
go.
oh, it's them.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, don't worry. That's
No,
it.
yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, together we're stronger, you know. So yeah, let's connect. If anyone's got any resource or expertise, please share.
Yeah, sorry, I'm asking questions. Just sat right here. I just want to say a massive thank you, actually, because that was really amazing and so interesting.
Oh,
and I grew up in Brighton. When I was 16, there used to be a big house party in Portland Road in Hove.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like I need to ask you about it later, but yeah, because we used to pay £1 to go in, and it was so exciting, and the house used to shake, and that's probably almost, it's a long time ago.
Is that where it was?
Right, right, the end of it was the end of Portland Road.
So apparently
I
this
was
is
16, so I was still underage pound.
concessions.
We played in two places.
It was very exciting.
Yeah.
Love that, brilliant.
I just going back to what you were saying about near archives. I was just wondering if there are any other kind of young artists that are actually kind of getting involved, and who else is supporting the scene.
I mean, again, Ella,
Apart from
Nick,
brilliant Ella.
Joy. You know, I guess Nick.
Joy.
Oh gosh.
Young Dendy.
There's youngsters around the sound, like young Felix over there,
Theo
and them. They sort of are getting involved more and that. So
musicians in there.
it's always
Joy.
My grandson likes getting involved a little bit.
Joy, Ella, where's best to follow you? Both on social media, or where do we find out about your gigs or happenings?
Yeah, promotion's maybe not a strong point, but yeah, we do have an Instagram, which occasionally gets updated.
Okay. We'll keep an eye out.
And a website, which was built by Joe over there.
Yes,
Proper
sir.
website builder.
Love that. Brilliant.
Yeah, I'm on all the usual places as King Sci-Fi UK, I think, on most places, so Instagram, Facebook. And then we'll be rewind mastering with the studio side of things, but that'll be a couple of months still, so we're up and running on that. But yeah, that's King Sci-Fi.
Any last questions? I don't know if we're turning the system back on for the last half hour, 20 minutes. Yeah, shall we? I mean, probably rude not to, right? So one more question here then.
Yes, I wanted to ask you about the whole mastering process. All the tracks that we hear are super bassy when they come through. Is that more when they're being played through the preamp, or do you master it in a way where they have the extension of bass?
It's a bit of both. I mean, obviously these are absurdly overpowered, these speakers. I mean, we've got 7,000 watts in each one of these. So I mean, you start doing the maths, it does give it a bit extra. But when you're mastering reggae music, you do tend to give it a little bump in the bass, but it's because it's part of the character and part of it. But then also you want it to be balanced still, because you hear some tunes that come out and people just turn it up on the bass, and you can't hear the voice is usually what happens most of the time. Or it's still a balance, but yeah, you do tend to have a bass-heavy production and pretty bass-heavy system, and it all adds up. yeah.
Cool. Last questions. Last chance. There we go.
So the elders in the room. Any words of advice for the youth them setting out, starting?
Just keep the good works going, my brother. Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you.
And you have to love it. Yeah. You have to love it, because it's not going to peer. You're lucky if it peer you. Yeah, and there's lots of things that will test you and try to stop you from growing and getting more experience. Don't watch that. Just stay focused and stick to the thing.
Yeah.
Do what you have to do.
Yeah. Love it and live it.
Yes. Wicked. Cool. To the music. We're going to pack away the chairs. There might be a few more beers left. We've got 15, 20 minutes, and then enjoy your weekend, guys. Thank you very much.